Okay.
Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. 50-50 my voice gets through this show. It's a little rough right now. What?
I don't think it's going to be... I don't think your odds are that good, brother.
You're that lower than that? All right, fair enough.
You already sound like shit.
I'm just going to try not to cough all the way through this.
Yeah, it's rough.
How did I end up... I moved seats and I ended up with the wobbly one again. Is this why you did this? Oh my God.
He wasn't even in that
Sabotage
seat before.
me. Oh, were you over there?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's over there.
sorry,
did
I
it.
stole your seat.
It's the criminal on the pod doing
Yeah, I was
things,
gonna say.
committing the
could you?
crimes.
I love that wobbly, Mike.
Avs win 4-1 over the Vancouver Canucks in, let's be honest, a game that felt pretty routine for Colorado. There wasn't anything super special to this one tonight.
Andrew and I were saying it was perfectly boring.
Yeah, exactly. And that felt good. Feels good to have one of those occasionally. I'll give it up to AJ here, who's doing the 60-second rundown for us. Unlike me, he actually gets a clock on him.
Do I get a timer? My time. Oh, it's good to go.
Starts
go back.
off with a
Off
call.
to a good start.
We're all sick. It's fine. Pretty standard game from the Avs on this one. It was a easy peasy, honestly. Come out in the first period, you get a goal from Cogliano. You love that. You go out into the second period, you get a 5-on-3. You score on a 5-on-3. You somehow don't score, despite the open net.
Yeah,
Nathan MacKinnon fires
just
a missile that misses the open net to make it 3-0. Well, they get another 5-on-3 and make it 3-0 anyway. And
Yep.
so it's all good. Elias Pettersson then scores to make things mildly interesting for a few minutes. And you get a Balderita goal. A Brad Hunt rocket at the end to make it 4-1. Pretty standard stuff.
It really was.
There wasn't much interesting. The Avs walked in, took 2 points, and walked out. What's up, Seattle?
It's what good teams do, to be honest.
Yeah.
I do think there's a touch more interesting to that we'll get into here, starting with the first period. A pretty wide open period, I felt like. It did go back and forth quite a bit.
Yeah. Had its moments.
You're, dare I cliche it being a good road period. But I do want to start with, I don't know how much of this is things going the Avs way, or this is just the rules, but maybe some good fortune, at least a little bit for the Avs. Vancouver scores a goal, pretty blatant high stick. It gets called right away.
Yeah, it's the high stickiest of high sticks that ever high sticked in high stick history.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I mean, it wasn't even remote that the JT Miller doesn't celebrate. Every Avs player immediately raises their hand. Like there was no response whatsoever. The only one in the arena who seemed confused by what was happening was dumbass Connor Garland. So, and I just think that's just a natural state for Connor Garland. So, good for him being the only guy who was like, what's going on right now? Very clearly a high stick.
Yeah.
Very clearly.
I think it is a lucky break, though, because it happens within 3 minutes into the opening period that they allowed this type of chance so close in the net front that they do benefit from a little luck that this is a high stick play, because that could have really shifted the momentum of that period in how closely these teams matched up, especially in that period.
Yeah, it's, again, context. They're on the road. They have no Cale Makar. You can understand the period. And on the whole, I don't have a problem with the Avs' first period.
No.
But it certainly felt like a much closer period than the second did. So getting a bounce here or break there can go a long way for a hockey team, like you were saying. And it's not that the Avs weren't generating chances. They had a chance before that, just kind of didn't break their way. Now, to be fair, I think it was Logan O'Connor.
It was Logan O'Connor.
That shot was going wide, for the record, before it hit the defenseman and skittered in behind into the crease area and ultimately not in the net. But it's not like this was an unbelievably lucky thing for the Avs. There were breaks going both ways in the game at that point. You fast forward, and we're going to get a little bit out of chronological order here. Cogliano's going to drive me insane. Actually going to drive me crazy.
we were joking after he scored the goal. We were like, oh, I have to be nice to him now.
Right.
And then I was like, wait, there's a lot of game left. 2 penalties later. That's why there was a lot of game left.
It definitely doesn't age well that the last time he was in Vancouver, he had a bad game, and it was undisciplined at points. And to see the undisciplined element of his game creep back into tonight's game, thankfully they get the victory, and he gets on the score sheet in a positive way.
Jesse, the clicker's out here. Sorry, go ahead.
It is a complicated relationship with Cogliano, and I think he has a complicated relationship with Vancouver.
I mean, is it just Vancouver, though?
He has had a string of undisciplined moments that we've talked about. Like, some of those moments, he is on the tail end of a long shift, and he is making, don't like to use the word lazy, but he is making tired mistakes that you don't see a veteran player making those mistakes, and it's really hard to excuse. It's really helpful when he scores and opens the scoring for the Avalanche in this game. It's a lot easier to look past, but you look at the leadership he brings into the room, and that is also why it just feels a little more unacceptable that he's actually someone you look to set the tone for how this team should play, and undisciplined, avoidable mistakes like taking penalties is really hard to swallow.
Well, my post-game piece after the Calgary game, one of the things that I had as a dud was an entire Andrew Cogliano shift, where a turnover high in the zone turned into a scoring chance, and then he whiffs on a clearing attempt and then takes a penalty because he's tired and he's reaching. And you see that last part where he takes a penalty because he's tired and he's reaching happens again tonight. And you've seen several of these types of penalties crop up in the last handful of games from him. And really, I think it started with the LA game, with the delay of game in the third period that Brad Hunt bails him out of, and they end up scoring, on that power play that to spark that 2-goal comeback. And that's, look, you love the goal from Cogliano. It's a great shot.
Yeah,
he just rips that. It's a really nice play from LOC, from Alex Newhook.
I love that.
Cogs with a great finish. And then pretty much everything from there, from Andrew Cogliano, was downhill.
It's a weird conversation in general because that's his 7th goal of the year. He's given you decent depth production in that regard, but everywhere else on the ice, especially since the new year, it just feels like a struggle right now for him. And it's tough to balance that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how to feel about it. I'll put it that way.
I do love, just an aside, the hard work that goes into the Cogliano goal from Newhook and O'Connor. I think it is why that line has had success in the past, and why the team tonight, even because looking at a later Mikko Rantanen goal, it is the grittiness along the boards and winning those battle and retrieving those pucks that leads to these scoring opportunities. And Newhook on that Cogliano goal specifically is playing from his knees out into the neutral zone to get that puck up ice, and then he continues and follows through in the offensive zone along that board battle to break it back out to Cogliano. I just thought it was a call out for Newhook specifically on that shift. I really liked the role he played in that goal.
That trio has produced 3 goals now in the last handful of games, because they scored twice in the Ottawa game.
It's been working, to say the least.
And they've all kind of been the same thing. It's all been very similar of hard work. They grind along the wall. They win a puck battle, and somebody gets into a center area of the ice. They get the puck to him, and he just beats the goalie.
I'm so sorry. I just got a DM from Tim Peel saying, by the way, I like your new profile picture better. Laughing faces, just kidding, blah, blah, blah. I just find that hilarious.
That's incredible.
I changed it a couple weeks ago. It's an actual picture of me now.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
That's super funny.
Well played, Tim Peel.
Jesse, doing the hard work, getting Jared Bednar's presser there any way you can.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
It was actually funny because I walked away when we were talking about that the Avs didn't maybe have the best start, maybe got some breaks, and that was one of the first things he said was, I didn't like our start. They kind of had us, back on our heels a little bit, pushing back. But no, he talked about liking the pushback from the Avs, mentioned that they got really good goaltending early on. You guys make the point that you get a little bit of a break there with that high stick, but there were a few moments really throughout the entire game, but I thought especially early where Georgiev made some really nice saves to keep the game tied or,
talk about it.
a small lead. So, he mentioned that. Talked about the, he said Cale Makar's healthy. They probably don't go 5 forwards on those 5-on-3s. But he said we had 2-man advantage. We were trying to get our most talented guys on the ice, and it worked out for him twice.
Take that, Devon.
Yep.
Third star my ass.
I think it was Peter Baugh asked about when do you decide to use that timeout? And he said, kind of what you and I were talking about. He didn't say these exact words of like, this could be the game, but he was like, we recognized that it was a big moment. We had a 2-goal lead. We had a chance to, really kind of put a stamp on things.
First minute and 10 of that power play had been spent with your top unit out there. You draw the other penalty. This is pretty easy timeout usage here.
And he was just saying, like, we wanted to give those guys who had been out there a chance to catch their breath, talk about what they wanted to do. He mentioned that it's big for Val to get a goal just with the injury. It's taken him a while to work back into it. He's had some chances, he's had some looks. It's nice for that. And then he talked right at the end about Alex Newhook playing in between Cogliano and O'Connor, and he thought that he's liking what he's seeing from Newhook. He thinks that playing with those two guys is driving the competitive side of him a little bit more. And he actually said that he's liked better the way he looks in the middle on this stint playing center.
You have to.
Yeah.
It's been 4 games now where
It's been real good.
He's been a part of it in each of the games, where the Calgary game was the quietest game there, but you're talking they've generated multiple goals, and how many times have we talked about it? Yeah, your big guys are going to get, MacKinnon's going to help you score a goal. Mikko Rantanen's going to help you score a goal. You love that you could probably put them down for 2 from those guys to start every game. Where do you get the third? And it coming from that line right now. It's no surprise they're on a 4-game winning streak when they're getting that
depth production.
Yeah, and then when you get another goal from a defenseman, especially with Cale Makar not in the lineup.
Yep.
How much easier is life when that's like how you're built. You're built to score goals from certain areas, and when those guys are producing,
It looks easy.
wow, it's like and you're Brad Hunt, it's free money, right?
Yeah. You take it where you can get it.
And
but
it's the 4th goal. You're not like, oh my God, huge moment.
for sure.
But it is a big moment in that they had made it 3-1. They're starting to smart for a comeback. You start to think, hey, you never know. It's the same team that came back from a 2-goal deficit on Carolina not that long ago. Despite the fact that they're firing their head coach in the slowest manner known to mankind. Everybody knows that it's happening, but they're still playing for him. They're still sending out. They're still putting forth a genuine effort there.
Could you imagine just being at any job that's like not in pro sports? Be like, hey, AJ, we're gonna have to let you go. Not today. Just keep showing up, but we are going to let you go.
We are going to let you go, and we've already interviewed and hired your replacement. We need you to continue to show up every day, and we'll let you know when that stops.
When you're fired.
And we're doing it under the guise of trying to be the good guy.
Right. And we need you to give 110% every day that you're here. But we are firing you, just to be clear.
Yeah.
That would be insane. Nobody would ever, that would be like, nope, you're a crazy person. We're not doing this. But for some reason, because it's pro sports, everyone's just like, yeah, it's not cool, but oh well. It's like, no, this is wild.
Comments.
It's like this is crazy that they're letting it go on this publicly.
It's a little heartbreaking.
I think it's
because
awful.
He's handling it with such class and professionalism.
Yeah, right.
And you can see the love of game that he has, and the reality of what this means for any future in coaching is really grim. And I think it is really tragic to see him in that position. And I do think it's weird that there's definitely people speaking out against it, saying like, this just really was not the way to handle
really
this.
disrespectful.
Right, people are saying that, but you're right. On the whole, it just feels like there isn't really a consequence for doing this, and I mean, I think the consequence is going to be karmic. I think Vancouver's going to go through some things that are going to be very difficult to dig themselves out of.
Consequence is the guy they're trying to hire is not a good head coach.
So, like, there will be karmic consequences, in my opinion. I do think this is the kind of thing that bleeds into the culture of a team moving forward, but it is really heartbreaking to see.
Definitely not a fun situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's just not cool.
If you're Rick Tocchet, why have you said yes to this?
Right.
Like, I understand you want to be a coach again. You don't want to work for TNT. You know, you want to get back into doing what you think you're doing.
Come hire me when the position's available.
Yeah, like maybe come and have a like they did these weird, like they're interviewing candidates throughout the year in the middle of a season. Like the whole thing feels so disrespectful.
Yeah. I don't know. And to your point, Megan, like there are people saying stuff, but like I feel like it's mostly like media. Like we're the ones that are like, yeah, this, you know, like Jeff Merrick, I know has like a huge problem with it. He talks about it on his radio show every day.
Yeah.
Jackie Redmond came out.
Really? But like the craziest part is like, yeah, amongst like inner NHL circles, it's like, nah, what are you gonna do? It's like, holy shit, this is tough to watch.
Well, and you remember we all kind of were upset on behalf of Gerard Gallant when he got fired in Florida, and they had the whole like
the whole taxi situation.
Dropped him off at the airport, like
Right.
and everybody was like, "What a slap in the face!" We all thought that was disrespectful. The way that Vegas has treated their players in recent years, we've all talked about being disrespectful. This is on a totally different level. What they've done to Bruce Boudreau, it's so unnecessary. You've already made this decision. You're going to do this. You're under the guise of you want to make one announcement at the same time. We're firing him and hiring Rick Tocchet.
Right.
You're already talking. Names are leaking of assistant coaches. You're talking about guys who have agreed to take jobs that aren't even open yet. It's ridiculous. To me, I think it's ridiculous.
So, all right. So there's a comment here that just came in that said they're still paying Travis Green. Rudo and I were talking before. That has to be the reason, right? That has to be the reason the owners are like, we're not going to pay another guy who is not working for us. Because why else would you not have just put in an interim coach at this point?
Well, and that's the question: is why not? Because Bruce Boudreau's on the last year of his deal anyway. It's not like
Right.
you have it's not like there's a lengthy contract that they have to pay out here. Because there's not. It's not a consideration.
They either need to tell him, hey, you're our coach through the end of the year, and then once that contract runs out.
They've already chosen to hire somebody.
The weird
It's
part to me
insane
is like, is there like some sort of severance bonus or something too? Because if I'm Bruce Boudreau right now, I'm thinking, F this, I'm going to quit. Like,
I have a feeling that if he walks, that probably negatively impacts him financially. Because I'm with you otherwise. Why wouldn't you just walk at this point? There has to be money that he'd be leaving on the table.
And you're not walking because you love the game and you love coaching and you love the job, and it might be the last one that he has. Because his last couple haven't gone very well.
See, I almost wonder, though, if this is earning him any like goodwill around the league. You know what I mean?
I think it's certainly earning him sympathy, but I don't know if it's going to get him another coaching job because it just has not gone. Last year was great.
Right.
You know, the Bruce, there it is. Everybody had a great time with it. Them making, it being like, oh, well, they just waited too long.
Apparently the crowd broke out into a Bruce, there it is.
I
today.
believe it because they've shown him love because they recognize that the problem has not been the coach. The problem is the guy that is making the decision to hire another coach and is in charge. Jim Rutherford has made an absolute mockery of this entire process.
Well, and
the whole thing that he did, the way that he's built this team, and he goes out and he does a presser the other day talking about they need major surgery. Well, who signed all those deals,
right.
bro? What are you doing? And then he goes on to say we need major surgery, and then he's like, we tried to sign Horvat. We think we're going to keep Kuzmenko. We think we're not going to have a problem keeping Pettersson. So you need major surgery, and you're trying to keep all your guys,
right? And you're signing everyone long term. Well, and that was kind of my thing about Bruce Boudreau potentially getting another job. I like when I step back and look at this, I'm like, none of this is on Bruce Boudreau.
No,
not even a little bit.
It's Bruce Boudreau's fault that Thatcher Demko completely falls apart.
Forgot how to play goaltender.
I hope for Boudreau's sake, for everything that he's gone through here, I hope he gets a gig somewhere. An assistant coaching job.
I think he will. I mean, he's been too good of a coach.
Right.
Someone will give that dude another head coaching job, and if not immediately, in a few years. Like, if Dallas Eakins can work his way back into the NHL.
And back out. That's the Craig Cronin job.
Hey. Easy. I'd be so happy for him, for real.
To me, it just makes sense, but
We do need to get back into the hockey game.
I looked up at the TV right there, and I just want people to know you said that. I looked at the TV, and it looked like I rolled my eyes at what you said on camera. I was glancing at the television. I was not rolling my eyes at you saying you'd be happy for Craig Cronin.
I'm going to be honest, fam. The Shady Rays sunglasses can't get here fast enough. I know.
we're gonna wear them on the show.
Straight up, with the lights we've got rocking now, I need them. Gonna go blind.
Non-glasses guy over here must be nice.
I had glasses for years.
Must be nice.
I'm wearing them over top of them. I don't care. It's happening.
I don't know if Shady Rays has the cocoons, but they do have amazing sunglasses. Actually, you know what? They do have ski goggles. You could wear those over your glasses.
Contemplated buying some just to wear them around. When Z and I were up in Winter Park, there was a guy not skiing, not wearing any other ski gear, just walking
goggles.
around with goggles on.
Let's go.
He was sitting at the restaurant with us, just throwing back drinks with his goggles on.
They have a bunch of dope
The best
products. I'm looking forward to mine. Megan was telling me a lot of people from the company got aviators.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah,
Not my style, to be honest.
I also was peeping
but
the orders from our coworkers and being very judgmental.
Being very judgmental.
I got the super dope, 1980s wrestler sunglasses, so I'm looking forward to
I
those.
do not remember what I got. I've never owned sunglasses, so I didn't know where to start.
Well, good thing is, it doesn't matter what you get. If you break them or lose them in the first 30 days, Shady Rays will replace them completely for free. So they got you covered no matter what. If you don't love them, you can send them back and they'll refund you too. No risk at all with shopping with Shady Rays right now. So for our listeners, if you use that DNVR code, you can see on screen right now, you get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses that you can try for yourself. They've been rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. You can visit them at the Park Meadows Mall if you're local, or of course, go to shadyrays.com. Check them out today. We're also brought to you by Pins and Aces, as AJ is losing his mind over
A
here.
great appreciation for Dookie shoes. It's a great Tom Segura bit. It's a great bit.
Dookie shoes.
Well, don't wear Dookie shoes. Wear quality shoes from Pins and Aces instead. All right?
Oh, I like that graphic.
You can get all of your golf apparel with DNVR hooked up from Pins and Aces. Bunch of amazing stuff there.
Sorry.
They also have their beer sleeves, as my voice is dying. 7 different beers you can fit right in your golf bag with the sleeve. Bring them right onto the course with you. When you order from Pins and Aces with code DNVR, you get 15% off and free shipping. Do it at Pins and Aces today.
Is that the last read?
You're good.
Just before we officially move on from the Bruce Boudreau conversation, Andrew Cogliano was asked about it, and I just want to read his quote here. This is Andrew Cogliano just now after the game in Vancouver. Quote, "I don't know what's going on here, but I love Bruce. I think he's a great man. He cares about players. He cares about his team, and he's a good coach. I have my thoughts on what's going on here with him on a personal level, and I don't think it's warranted. He's done a good job throughout the league. We had a lot of success in Anaheim, and I actually attribute a lot of my success in the league to him, so I owe him a lot. I love him. I think he's a good person, he's a good coach, and I think he'll come out on top of all of this." That's pretty high praise from a guy like
Andrew Cogliano after the Ivan Provorov thing.
Greatest
And
human
now with
alive.
this, it's just like Andrew Cogliano has all the right answers.
Sometimes lucky.
This
Makes
is
me
why
feel
when
better
things
about
get
life.
tough, I go and talk to him.
Yeah, no, he's a great person to talk to for really whatever you need. He's very honest. If it's going tough or if things are going well, he does not mince words.
You guys should do an interview with him about everything except hockey. Let's see how far down
Life
the rabbit
advice?
hole.
One
What
question.
should I do,
One
Andrew?
question.
To see how many quality answers he can give you.
That dude lives and breathes hockey. I haven't been around this team like decades and decades.
Yeah.
I've seen a fair amount of players kind of come and go here up close. I've never seen anyone that works the way that guy does. It's wild. Off ice, whatever. Like, everyone's leaving. Everyone's going after morning skate with
To be
their
his
lattes
age
and all that
and
stuff.
to be as beat up as he is all the time and to be his size, there has to be a work ethic there.
And that dude's running
Well, it's
sprints in the hallways.
Chinese
I mean-
every single day.
It's easy to forget
in the hall.
What
hallway.
was his Iron Man streak, too.
I know.
Which, unfortunately, broken by suspension, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But
Apparently that him and Peros had like a really good friendship, and I guess that like
messed
fractured
it
it.
up.
Did that.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get into the second period of this game. At the end of the first, the Avs draw 2 penalties, the one to make it a 5-on-3 simply because Nathan MacKinnon cannot be defended in general. Not the best look for Quinn Hughs on that play. Just throwing it out there. I know.
All of Quinn Hughes' worst efforts happened in the defensive zone.
Yeah. It wasn't great.
Sounds about right.
He's just knock you out my car.
The carryover 5-on-3 into the second period. The Avs get the job done. I'm going to make an argument here. Yes, I get it. Val fanned on the shot. He gets a super lucky bounce.
Yeah.
If the defenseman didn't knock that into the net, Mikko was there anyway.
Yeah, and it almost feels like stealing because we're trying to get Mikko to track down 50. So, can we not get that puck luck? Well, Mikko probably would have fired it wide with how.
Hey
they
guys,
handled
look at
open
this.
nets.
Blaze not so busy after all, but 8 o'clock puck drop, 3rd time in a row. He's just conveniently had something else going on. Isn't that funny?
It's probably Zach O'Donnell pretending to be Blaze.
I don't know. He said something about Houdon earlier, so I think it's him.
A little.
It's not a hard brand to recreate that.
That's definitely him, by the way.
Oh yeah, it is. I'm just kidding. Shout out Zach O'Donnell.
I would like to say, as a little birdie told me, Blaze is updating the graphic as we speak.
Great timing.
Val
Yeah.
Nichushkin has now scored off of both of his own legs, his third leg, and now somebody else's leg.
Jesus.
So
I heard that kind of delayed.
the count increases by 1. It keeps going for him. Happy for Val to get one in the net. Probably not the way he wanted to do it, but it felt like he's deserved one for a little bit now.
Yeah.
That he's back.
Been a while since I don't believe he scored a goal in his last stint.
Yeah, he didn't for
So
that
you're
little mini
talking-
stint.
It's been a while.
I can't stress enough how much Val does for this team. I know he's probably not fully 100%. You know, the news is out there about him trying to get his skates adjusted and things like that for his ankle. But even in this state, he continues to be unbelievably effective for Colorado.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's in the right place at the right time. It's a great play, and it was great to see them start a period with the man advantage and capitalize on it, because there's some concern sometimes how that energy is going to carry over into another period. And I think that MacKinnon had a great setup for Comfer there at the NEM front, and Nichushkin just found himself in the right place at the right time, and it's because of who he is as Val Nichushkin that he gets there.
Yeah, not afraid to go to the correct area of the ice, right?
Certainly no surprise because you mentioned, he goes there. He goes to that part of the ice and gets rewarded. It's no surprise Val Nichushkin comes back. Arturi Lehkonen scoring goals around the net. Val Nichushkin gets one around the net. You look at the wins that they had over the weekend over Detroit and Ottawa, and you're talking about just being rewarded for being in that area of the ice. And when you have more than one guy willing to do it, things go your way. And you see Nichushkin's presence on the power play has opened up because they have to respect what he's able to do. It helps draw a defender away. When a puck bounces to Arturi Lehkonen in Calgary a couple nights ago, there's not a guy right on him because they're trying to deal with Val Nichushkin in front. And so that, just the impact, it's not even just that he's there to score a goal as he was tonight. It's the impact of how he changes how they defend, how other teams defend Colorado's power play, because he's got a big butt and soft hands. It's a pretty good combination when you want to stand at the crease.
Works out for him. His hands were a little stony on this one. I'm not going to lie to you.
But we've seen this year.
You're right.
It's been a lot better, and it just feels like he stole Berkey's hands, and then they just decided on a mutual agreement that they would just forever share them.
Yep. That one works out, and I'm going to be honest, I think a lot of this second period, certainly the first half of it, the Avs let Vancouver beat themselves.
Yeah.
Vancouver struggled to get out of their own way on this one a little bit, obviously giving the Avs another 5-on-3 somehow getting a too many men penalty when you're on the penalty kill. I think Boudreau's reaction to that said it all, where he just throws the head back like, are you fucking kidding me?
That had been a useless power play up to that point.
Yeah.
I actually somehow felt worse for Bruce Boudreau in that exact moment.
Agree.
Oh, damn it. What did you say at the very beginning of that? Because it spurred a thought for me.
Vancouver couldn't
beat
get out
themselves.
of their own way. Yeah.
Something that was such a hallmark of this Avalanche team last year, when we talked about it a bunch on the show, was they did not allow you to make mistakes.
Yeah.
If you made a mistake, they capitalized on it, whether it be through putting you in a situation where you had to take a penalty, or they would just straight put it in the back of your net. And that's something that I felt had been so missing from this group this year, was they were not capitalizing on teams, to use the phrase, not being able to get out of their own way. The Avs just hadn't been able to take advantage of that, in the last month. I think each of these last 4 games now that they've won, one of the big things I've noticed is, yeah, cool, you're going to put us in the 5-on-3? Again? All right. Okay. We'll just score a bunch of goals.
Let's just put 5 forwards on the ice.
Right.
Score. Thanks.
The Game 1 Stanley Cup Final OT winner. Like, I remember that Victor Hedman made one, really bad pass, and the game was over.
Great play by JT in the neutral zone.
And it was just, it seemed like every night games would be close. A team would make one small mistake, and then the Avs would just bury you. And I feel like that's what we've seen them do here in these last 4 games.
Yeah. Hard work breeds good luck, I suppose, as well. We've seen this play work out for the Avs a couple of times on the second
They say that
5-on-3.
good luck is a byproduct of sweat.
Sure.
So you have swag or sweat?
Sweat.
Why not both?
So
Porque no los dos.
Pick whichever axiom you want, but also at the same time, sometimes you just get lucky.
MacKinnon misses the net pretty handily. It comes around the far side, and maybe a little bit lucky that it ends up on Mikko's stick, but a great job by Mikko to finish that from a tough angle.
He has to actually finish that off. He knows what he's shooting at. He's not trying to cross. He's not a cross crease pass. He knows he's trying to get that to go in off the goalie. That's all. That's one of those ones where you're like, that's calculated. No joke. Unironically calculated.
Yep.
That's just a great finish.
Yeah.
I know you said that you're trying to get him to 50. The number's got to be 55, right?
No, it's 50.
I think he's chasing Sakic's Avs record.
I'm worried about 50 before I get to 55.
That'd be fun.
Dream a little bit.
I'll worry about 40 before I can worry about 50.
Oh, man. Yeah. No fun.
Sure. I get told that a lot. It's fine.
Avs beat doesn't like fun.
Wish we could tell that story.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Oh, God.
Which I would hate.
Which would be terrible. This post-nasal drip right now.
I'm not gonna lie. I
it's
think we're
brutal
all
out here.
really falling apart right
Yeah,
now.
it's too late for our sick
I'm
bodies.
trying really hard to stay awake.
I love that they won this game, but I am dying.
Never mind that we have hours more work to go after this podcast ends, but that's the life, I guess. Look, the Avs go up 3-0 roughly halfway through the second period, and this game never really felt in jeopardy.
Nope.
Yes, they do give up the 1 goal back to Elias Pettersson on a disaster shift. They had 2, 3, 4 opportunities to clear that puck and just didn't. You want better there, I think, especially from EJ, but sometimes you got to outscore a problem or two.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 guys that just whiff on that puck.
Yeah.
And Elias Pettersson ends up alone, where you're just like, well, it's fine.
It's the way things go for you.
It starts off with an ugly bounce because Comfort wins that faceoff and it goes off the linesman's foot.
Yeah.
And kicks forward. So a 1 faceoff turns into a loss immediately, and then they're chasing.
Yeah.
And they just literally watch as a puck bounces through 2 guys.
Oh yeah.
And
Down the
goes
slot.
right to their... And you're just like, well, it's 3-1. I'm not going to be upset about this. I'm not going to be upset that some small things went their way and they capitalized.
Well, and that's
just hockey.
You take that 3-1 lead into the third period. We talked about Cogliano already. You don't love the penalty, but a step forward from the other night against Calgary. The Avs PK takes care of business for them in the third period, and it's
Not
never
even really scary.
Yeah, right. Never even really becomes a hockey game, if we're being honest about it.
And like shout out to Georgiev because Elias Pettersson deking at the net front would have been hard for him to have make that save anyways, and that's the only thing he gives up. So I can live with that.
That was a really nice move too.
It was actually so nice.
It was filthy.
From a player who was really good in this game, I thought Pettersson was all over the place. He was the only guy on Vancouver's roster that when he took the ice, I was like, all right, you got to survive this. Everybody else on that team sucks.
We will talk more about Georgiev in a second. But first, have you been in an accident?
Not recently.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought that was rhetorical.
This is how an infomercial at 3 a.m. used to wake me up.
So
knows.
I would say I think Backes and Shanker could hurt Vancouver, but I'm going to be honest. I think their problems might be intentional
I think
at this
Vancouver
point.
probably picked up the phone and called 222-2222.
Get that free inquiry on their situation.
to see if they can. They have a claim against the Avs after what the Avs did to them tonight.
I just got the funniest text from Susie. Someone DM'd her to ask if she'd gotten married because she changed her last name on Twitter to Backes Shanker.
Wow.
So just good timing. Also, she is not married to my knowledge.
Definitely not married to someone whose last name is Backes Shanker, which is it's two last names. Oh, there. Okay. Perfect. Worked out great. Either way, if you've been in an accident, whether that's a car accident, motorcycle, even if it's a ride share situation, or if you've been injured at work, Backes and Shanker can help you out. They've won over $1 billion for their clients here in Colorado over the 25 years they've been doing it.
Free consultations.
Free.
All right. And they don't take any money from you until you've actually won a case.
It literally costs you nothing unless you win.
So you can find out if you have a case, and then they can work the case for you. And then if in the event you are successful, then they get paid. But until that moment, it's not like you're out a bunch of money just to find out, which for me I think is a huge deal.
It is. It's someone in your corner, especially in these situations where you've been injured and you're not at fault. So, you know the drill. Press 2 for a while. Go get yourself some Backes and Shanker love. And then hit up Green Mountain Dental Group. They can help you out, keep your teeth clean so you're not like me and every time you get sick, your teeth don't hurt. Don't recommend. It's not fun. Make sure you're going to Green Mountain Dental Group. When you get a cleaning, x-ray, and exam with them, you get a free Sonicare toothbrush so you can take care of your teeth properly at home as well. Go get it. Taking care of your teeth is important. Green Mountain Dental Group knows that, and they just want to help you, all right? Go take care of your teeth. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Georgiev balled out tonight. This one, not going to say he stole it because the Avs scored 4 goals.
Yeah, a weird king in the game for us, though, because you are talking about Nathan MacKinnon has 2 points for you. Mikko Rantanen has 2 points for you. But backstopping all of that, there were chances here. They had 10 high-danger chances in this game and at 5v5. Vancouver had their opportunities, and Alexander Georgiev just rose to the occasion. And 2 games in a row, 1 goal against.
14 of his 28 saves come on medium to high danger chances. And he was there.
It's a good night.
Yeah. And it's one of those nights where, you could tell they don't have Cale Makar. They are missing half their defense against a talented forward core that could do a little damage to you. And they don't suffocate them, but it doesn't matter because that's why you pay a goalie. And Georgiev was really just the backbone of a really good night for the Avalanche tonight. And 2 consecutive starts that remind you it's pretty good.
He's all right.
He's pretty good.
Doing okay.
I don't know if he's one of the guys, but he's pretty
Oh
good.
my God. What even is
Never letting this
Does
die.
anyone love the goalie tandem more than Daryl Sutter?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
that's
Does anybody love anything Avs related? Can we get Daryl Sutter on to be the ultimate Avs
Straight
hype man?
up.
Is it psyops? Like, are you trying to get them out of their heads? Like, oh, they believe in us so much.
Didn't work last time.
Oh, it didn't. I don't know. I
So
love
remember
it.
everyone's saying that they're like, "Oh, that's gamesmanship. He's getting in the Avs' head." It's like
Yeah, that worked.
they just rattled off one of the most dominant postseason performances of all time. If he either looks very right, or if he was actually trying to get them off their game, it worked horribly.
Since we do harp on this so much, I do want to touch on it in a positive light tonight. The time on ice, pretty reasonable. Devontae has played 23-43, not that high. Your next guy, Sam Girard, or actually Eric Johnson at 19-22. I can speak. Sam Girard, 18-18. Brad Hunt, 15-30. And then the rest of them, 12, 11, 10 minutes. On the offensive side, Ben Myers passed the 8-minute mark tonight. Not a huge amount of minutes, but you're talking about a reasonable number of shifts for a guy at that
Needs to be
point.
higher.
I agree, but 8 is a whole lot better than 4.
Yeah, I think that he needs to be, especially in a game that they controlled.
I agree.
The way that they did.
I'm with you,
Get him to 10.
but we're
I mean, this is a
we're moving
super
in the
minor
right direction. Yeah,
I thought the usage tonight was predominantly just fine, and Bednar used his timeout.
he sure did,
That's going in studs category tonight. Timeout usage.
and they have scored on that 5-on-3.
Yeah,
so
immaculate.
It is a good call. In the third period, you actually could see Anton Bleed take shifts and make note of it, and that was unrolled a lot more like you would expect them to in a 4-1 game in the third period, seeing Curtis McDermott, seeing Anton Bleed. You'd like to see Myers a little bit more throughout the course of the entire game, but he gave them a little bit more runway, and I think that is more conservative and better for the overall bottom line.
yeah. Again, can it be better? Absolutely, but it's trending in the right direction.
With Bednar also talking about the trust that he's developing with Newhook as a center between those guys.
Yeah.
You're talking about now you have a third line that's developing a level of comfort with the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Where, okay, now, you are still Sans Makar. You are still trying to figure out your defense. But with the 11-7 alignment, you like that you're pulling from forwards that you are comfortable with. And Ben Myers has been solid. There haven't been Ben Myers problems.
Agree.
Anton Bleed has been as expected. There's very, very close to nothing taking place. He's not hurting you. He's not making mistakes. It's whatever. This was a much better night for usage. In a game that was... It's funny because after the Ottawa-Detroit games, we were like, well, we need to see what happens in more competitive games. Well, Calgary is 3-0 in the first period, and then they chill from there. And this was 3-0 halfway through, and they cruise home from there. So
I don't agree with you. Bleed was fine. Curtis McDermott was still bad tonight. They got away with it, but it was not pretty.
Oh, McDermott was awful tonight.
We don't have to harp on it.
Yeah,
I just don't think he was good.
And you wonder like the correlation here, because you go and you look and you see that it's JT Compher, Val Nichushkin that get chewed up at the same time.
Yeah.
McDermott is on the ice, and when you go back and you actually watch the film, you'll see 56, some really ghastly turnovers that extended possessions.
Yeah, egregious.
That caused some of those issues, but limited them as the game went on, because it was like 6 chances through 2 periods, and then it finished at 7. So at least when they were trying to close the game, they're not just giving them away.
All right, I don't.
That's where Georgiev comes in. Those are the big saves that
And he
makes.
did the job to a T.
Yep.
Stopped all but one of them. You give up 1 goal, you're probably going to win a hockey game. I don't want to keep us too long before we all keel over and die on this podcast. So let's get these super chats and let's get out of here. $5 from Degro, who says, LOC, man, can we buy a goal for him? Love you all.
This was a bad night for us, jokingly talking about him needing to score more.
I mean, he did everything but score.
Right, he came
but
so close.
I was gonna say,
So
but
close.
it was almost exactly what we talked about to a T. He puts himself in great situations, generates chances out of nowhere. This much more skill.
It's never going to be there, though. So,
You never know.
I mean, I guess.
You never know when he wakes up in the middle of the night in the team hotel and chops Val Nichushkin's hands off, which are actually Burakovsky's hands, and takes them for himself.
We're going layers deep now at this. Did Burakovsky take those hands from some other human?
Peter Forsberg. Actually, Marcus Naslund. Their release is a lot more similar.
If you say so. 2 more from G-Grow saying, AJ, why so many flaming G-Man?
I don't know what that means.
I read it earlier, and I also am trying.
I want to
understand.
say, why are so many people flaming Gerard is my assumption.
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense.
Look.
I hope
Here's-
that's not what he means, and we're going to answer
Yeah.
this question.
Well, here's the thing. Sam Girard is always going to have haters because he's 5'9". There will always be people who call him a midget and always too small to be any good and blah, 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 blah. Disregard those people immediately. Layer 1. Those are the people that cite plus minus. Don't listen to them. They don't have anything to provide in a conversation except just air. They're just taking it from you. So move on from those people. The people that have actual criticisms of his game, fine. But he certainly has underperformed our expectations this year. You can be critical of that. All of this trade Gerard nonsense, if he's so bad, what are you going to get for him in a deal? Because he doesn't just make you better by not being there anymore. Now you have to put somebody in his place. All of the trade Gerard stuff, the guy that brought the sign to the game in Calgary, you're a bum.
I was going to say,
It was all trash.
I don't like telling people how to fan, but that wasn't cool.
Yeah. Fun fact. The weirdest conspiracy theory I've ever heard is that JFK had to be assassinated.
So that Sam Girard could play for the Avs?
That would be weird. Because
6 degrees of separation from JFK's assassination.
No, AJ made me think of this is because his mouth was too big and he was breathing in too much oxygen and was using it all up.
What?
So he had to be killed.
Where'd you even see this?
JFK's mouth was too big, so he was using too much oxygen and had to be killed.
Yeah.
Wait, you got this from Yahir?
No.
I was like,
I don't know what's happening right now.
I was going to say, that's an insane enough conspiracy theory that I'm concerned about where you came upon that.
The internet?
Right, which is what I'm saying. What parts of the internet did you find that on?
I'll give you
the part that they QAnon
one
is real.
guess. Yeah.
The part that has "Don't Tread on Me" stickers on their cars.
And then $2 for Vegas. My normal voice is just super sticker voice at this point. So, vibes surrounded with purple stars. Yeah. I don't have a ton more to say. This was really a very straightforward win for Colorado for the most part.
Successful road trip.
Yeah, that's
no
true.
matter what. We said pregame that how this game turned out would decide how good the road trip was, if it was a success or not. And successful road trip, because now tomorrow night, we've talked about it. It's a scheduled loss. You don't care if you lose.
I'll say it's house money. If you win the game, you feel extremely good about this trip. If you lose,
you win tomorrow, and you're on a 5-game winning streak, and you're talking about, are we losing a game before this All-Star break?
Right. I was gonna say you win tomorrow, and it's just this isn't a fantastic trip. And if you lose, you lost to a Kraken team that's on an absolute heater right now.
Timeout, Jake.
On the second night of a back-to-back.
Timeout, anime.
Yo, it's 5 minutes. I mean, we're at the end anyway. Hit him with it.
Hit him with the 5-minute timeout.
I just want to
That
talk
one.
about
Don't
Brad
ban him.
Hunt's
Just
goal
time him out.
a little more.
No, that's fine then. Don't worry about it. We're just giving him
It's now
shit.
too much work.
Yeah. Did I get final thoughts from you two? I'm a little out of it at this point.
Let's go home, dude.
Brad Hunt rules.
Brad Hunt rules.
Confirm Brad Hunt is sick. Not like this.
So are we.
Not like this. But
Megan, shout goodbye again, and we'll leave.
Goodbye.